It's the 2K Sports Show.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. Our game tonight featuring the Cleveland Cavaliers as they go up against the Charlotte Hornets at Time Warner Cable Arena. Taking a look at the Hornets, more than solid play for them of late. 7 wins in their last 10 outings, making their mark and playing well. And one of the guys we'll see down low tonight, Nikola Vucevic out of Montenegro by way of USC. Legit 7-footer who has quietly put up huge numbers the last few seasons, Kenny.
Well, he uses his size really well.
Live from Charlotte, North Carolina, 2K Sports proudly brings you the Hornets at the Time Warner Cable Arena. Thanks for joining us as we get set to bring you NBA basketball on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. And, of course, Wilson Chandler. They will definitely miss his contributions.
Well, to say the deal changes. The look and feel of this franchise is stating the obvious. I mean, they are a vastly different team than they were a few days ago. Obviously looking long-term rather than the short-term.
Exactly. I mean, trading away a player with his talents is clearly a big picture deal. I mean, you have to balance fit and talent as well as upside, and then to throw in the financial consideration. So this is more than just about the player.
And a look at the starters for the Cavaliers. They've got Smith. Harrison Barnes is out there with Young. Then there's Festus Ezeli, and it's Thomas in at the 1 spot. Smith with a wide open look. Cleveland the rebound. Lets it go from deep. Thomas's shot is off.
Not good shot selection. Long range and a defender all up in your jersey.
And, you know, that's just the kind of defensive work he's known for. I mean, he can take that shot away from you and does it more times than not.
A big dip in performance here for the Hornets last year. In 2014, they were very tough to beat at home, and that was not the case in 2015.
Yeah, I mean, they struggled to string together those defensive runs at home. And in the end, that led to their less than stellar record.
Now Smith, after Isaiah Thomas missed from long range. And he gets it to go. Smith's got his second bucket tonight.
He's hit the ground running here in the first, putting together a nice quarter offensively. And, you know, that record for the Hornets last year at home, they ended up going 19-22, 6 fewer wins than they had in 2014 when they last made the playoffs.
A nice shot by Lynn.
You can't afford to give him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Now here's Thomas, coming off a stellar performance against Toronto. Smith, no good. For Charlotte, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Durant with it. Now Thomas defending. Vucevic setting the pick for Burks. And J.R. Smith picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
And getting back to the Hornets, they were the worst shooting team in the league at home. And they have to remedy that in a hurry. Shot only 42% here last season.
Burks dishes to Vucevic. And the rejection by Ezeli. Thomas kicks to Smith. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. 7 points for Smith.
Man, he's having quite the quarter, converting at a really high percentage.
Lynn against Thomas. Durant with a wide open look. Drops one in from the wing.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Well, Steve Clifford had a few moments to share with me. He told me it's a fun challenge trying to slow down a team that's so cagey and opportunistic offensively. He said, of course we've done our scouting, but this is the first time we've seen them firsthand this season. So it'll be interesting to see if we can take them out of their sets and slow them down at that end. Guys, they'll have to be solid defensively. Back to you.
And Doris, thank you so much. And guys, how do you view coach's strategy in terms of limiting those shooters?
Well, I think he knows how dangerous they can be if they get hot. So it's a sound approach. Defensively, though, they have to stick like glue to those guys.
That's absolutely essential. I mean, preventing high-quality shots has to be the highest priority. An absolute must.
The Cavaliers shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
And the word is they challenge each other, guys. I mean, each and every one of them to improve their free throw shooting in the offseason. Held each other accountable in that area. And now you see the results individually and as a whole.
Lynn can't get it to go. Great D that time from Green. And the hope for Jeremy Lin last season was that he'd take a step forward in his development, but it almost was the opposite in his play.
And that can happen. You don't always go a straight line north in your improvement in this league. He'd been on an upward swing as far as his shooting accuracy, but last season was the worst since his rookie year in that area.
1:39 left to play in the first quarter. Pass to Waiters. Back to Lynn. Four on the shot clock. The Hornets need to get a shot off here. Lure can't hit.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
The pass to Dellavedova. Mahinmi dishes to Green. Some nice passing by Cleveland here. And here's Barnes for three. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Dellavedova.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
The dish to Parsons. Fires from deep. And it's Dellavedova missing. Charlotte, their last game, a win against the Washington Wizards.
They were just locked really in a zone from a team defense standpoint, and nobody ever got stuck on an island. There was always somebody providing help, and the communication was... tremendous.
And that was the key, Greg, communication and the teamwork. You can't play good rotating defense if you're not communicating and on the same page. They were doing all of that at a high level.
And it's Mahinmi finishing it off.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with the dunk like that.
Here's McGarry, and it is good at the buzzer. Wow!
Nice shot there without a second to spare.
You know, as a defending team in that situation, it really irks you to give up a shot like that to close out the quarter. You know, oftentimes those end-of-quarter points can be the difference in a ball game.
And Kevin Durant, former MVP, still feels like he has room to grow, and he gives us... Well, the will seems to be there, Greg, but Kevin Durant seems surrounded by uncertainty. Can he get that and stay healthy for the entire season? How does he work with his new coach? Where does he really want to be?
You know, the truth is, no one but Kevin knows the answers to those questions. And quite frankly, he may not know right now what those answers are. He's a very unique and introspective kind of guy, as we all saw when he accepted that MVP award a couple years ago. So let's just stay tuned on this one.
Isaiah Thomas.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Now let's take a moment to get your guys' take on the scoring so far for the Cavaliers.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And also another aspect of their game that's been super so far tonight is how they've been sharing the basketball.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So on the floor for Cleveland, Chandler Parsons out there with Young. Then there's Festus Ezeli. Then it's Thomas. And it's Covington in at the 2 spot. Lynn kicks to Allen. Lets a floater go. Shot is off. Parsons with some nice D. The Cavaliers leading by 9. Kicks it to Ezeli. Stolen by Waiters. From 12 feet out. The shot misses. And Cleveland will come the other way. This game coming on the heels of their win against Toronto.
And that was not an easy game for them. I mean, they barely hung on at the end of regulation before they were able to pull it out in overtime.
And it could turn out to be one of their biggest wins of the season. I mean, just because of the way they came through when it mattered most. That's clutch play that could serve them well going forward.
Yeah, it's got to be concerned with all the missed shots here. And every team goes through cold streaks. You just got to figure out a way to stay productive.
And the best way to do that when you're missing shots is to get to the foul line. Be aggressive, get to the foul line, and knock down some of those freebies, and the tide can turn for you.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets.
And he clearly doesn't like what's going on out there right now.
Would you? I mean, how could he like what's happening? Really had to take a time out there and try to figure out a way to derail their momentum.
Montejunas has checked in for Charlotte. And a switch here also for Cleveland. Smith has checked in. Lynn kicks to Montejunas, and he dunks it down.
Tell you what, Kevin, they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
Clark, that deficit will go away quickly if he does.
And how about how he capped that one out, almost like the 1-2 punch.
Nice shot by Smith.
You know, it's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
It's a stark discrepancy when you look at the assist columns and you see that difference as far as the fluidity in their respective offenses. And it's not often that one of your enforcers is also one of your best three-point shooters, but such is the case with J.R. Smith. Everywhere he's gone, he's played both roles, sometimes to the team's benefit, but others to its detriment.
Some nice passing by Cleveland here. He dishes it to Thomas. Smith outside. 6 to shoot. Young passes to Smith. It's rebounded by Charlotte. Greg on the topic of Smith, you never know what his personality is going to bring to the game, or Clark, even the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Moment to moment, it's an adventure. When the good JR is rolling, he's knocking down threes, playing solid D, creating havoc for the opponent. Bad JR is taking and missing wild shots, going to sleep on defense, and causing problems for his own team.
Yeah. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Mitch McGary's checked in for the Hornets. Durant comes in for Jeremy Lin. And the Cavaliers will go with a different look here. Mahimi's checked in for Festus Ezeli. Harrison Barnes comes in for Thaddeus Young. Daniel Green, he's checked in for Robert Covington. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Isaiah Thomas.
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
It's Durant on the wing, covered by Barnes. On here's no luck.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
And it's Smith missing.
Yeah, credit the D there. Got his hands up and made sure he wasn't comfortable on the release.
Sure did. Stayed real snug on him and didn't allow him the space he needed to get a good shot off.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg.
Durant gets to Moniunas. The basket good off the assist from Durant. Moniunas has got his second bucket of the game to go.
Here it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, just getting the ball into the post has to be option number one for them right now.
So timeout called here, the first for Cleveland. We all know about Durant's injury last season. Strange because he was the model of health pretty much before that.
He really was. I mean, just rarely missed extended time. And factoring he, along with Westbrook, two guys who have been really the model of durability. Health is something he nor the fans will ever take for granted again.
And the Hornets making a change here. Lures checked in. And Cleveland with a change here, too. Parsons checked in for Smith. The Cavaliers leading by 10.
You know, a quick note about Kevin Durant and his ability to stay on the floor. Prior to last season, he played in 97% of all games that he could have. That's high-level durability there. They brought up their three-point percentage this quarter. They're shooting it well right now. The defense may need to think about making some kind of adjustment to slow that down.
And there's the feed to Lure. That one goes. Count it. There's 48 seconds left in the first half of the game.
And thinking about how much Durant has played, that 97% of games played is for international play and playoffs. That's an incredible amount of games that he's suited up for. You wonder if it just wore down his body.
It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A three-point play chance here.
You look at Kevin Durant, and he does have a bit of an unusual body type. Still is fairly thin, even after 8 years in the league. Yet, up until last season, he'd been one of the more durable players in the league. Kind of like Reggie Miller in that regard. They're working in closer to the bucket here in the second.
Well, the threes weren't falling early, and sometimes seeing a few easier ones go in can renew that confidence.
Now here's Waiters. He's tightly guarded. And it's Durant missing. To the paint, here's Barnes. And he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Clearly, they've been the hotter team here in the first half.
Well, they've been grit and grind, working for those high percentage shots, and quite honestly, it's paid off.
And so that brings the first half to a close. Cavaliers ahead.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. It's Cleveland out on top at halftime. They lead by 14. And let's go to Kenny. What'd you think of their first half?
Well, the bench came in and helped them run away with this one. Tremendous job of getting loose, getting open, and drilling shots. You always want that spark off the bench, and these guys delivered.
And big fella, your thoughts on the Hornets?
Ernie, they are way too weak defensively in the paint. They're getting walked over down low, giving up a ton of points, barbecue chicken everywhere.
And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin. We will see you after the final buzzer.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Hornets.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters.
Checking out the game J.R. Smith is having. 9 points, and from long range, he's hit 1 3-pointer.
And when it's all said and done, I got a sneaky suspicion he's going to have a few more.
Jeremy Lin is out there with Alec Burks. Then it's Durant. Then there's Moniunas. And it's Vucevic in at the center. And that's the group for Steve Clifford as we begin the second half. Lynn with it. He kicks it to Vucevic. Moniunas in the post. He's against Ezeli. Good on that shot. And with that, the Cavalier lead is cut down to just 12 points on the bucket for Moniunas. Young in the corner. The leaner. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. Young's got the lead up to 14 now for Cleveland. Charlotte shooting here about 46% for the game. Moniunas a screen on Thomas. Lynn kicks to Vucevic. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Big step last year for Vucevic's offense, Clark. Unstoppable at times, both on the blocks and facing up.
Vucevic is a real outstanding future all-star front court. Rebounds at a high rate in traffic and out of his area. Finishes, faces up. This kid has a lot of upside. I really like his game.
And talking about Vucevic's development last season, he's also had the highest assist average of his career. He's a good decision maker on the floor, knows when to take it himself, and knows when to kick it to cutters and spot up shooters.
Pass to Thomas. Cleveland moving the ball around. Dishes it to Smith. Barnes kicks to Thomas. Feeds to Smith. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Ezeli. Moniunas grabs the miss. Moniunas has got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
You know, and getting back to Vucevic, I mean, he's at an age where he may only get better. Averaged nearly 20 points a game last year after averaging only 14 the year before. That was an incredible leap in production, and I think it's one that'll continue.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. Covington's checked in.
And guys, you look over the history of the Defensive Player of the Year award, and it usually goes to big men. Big men get the blocks and clog up the paint, but before last season, the last 10 Defensive Player of the Year awards went to bigs.
Hornets trail by 10. Vucevic dishes to Moniunas, and he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
And a moment to see numbers for Isaiah Thomas. 1st in assists, 4th in scoring, and also his field goal percentage is up in the top 5. Tremendously efficient at finishing plays at the basket.
And I think we're talking about the ultimate competitor here. I mean, he maximizes every possession and just shreds defenses.
Passes it to Ezeli. Back to Thomas. He feeds it to Young. And another miss by Cleveland. Last year we saw Kawhi Leonard with the Defensive Player of the Year award. Draymond Green was runner-up, and although he was a power forward, I thought, Clark, he was defending on the perimeter quite a bit.
Yeah, he was, and you know, it's only the 8th time out of 33 Defensive Player of the Year awards that's not been given to a big guy. So well earned by Kawhi Leonard, and Draymond Green very easily could have won the award too.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
And as good as Vucevic is on offense, guys, he's doing everything he can to catch up on his defense. Huge size and wingspan works to his advantage, although the subpar athleticism hinders him a bit. But, for example, he's averaged less than 1 block per game for his career, mostly because even though he's a 7-footer, he plays well below the rim.
Lavoy Allen's checked in for Moniunas. Allen, a screen on Thomas. Thomas against Land. Pass to Vucevic. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Vucevic has got 7 points for the quarter. Well, and to Vucevic's point, big problem throughout his career, Clark, has been getting into foul trouble.
Yeah, it's tough. He's aggressive and sometimes out of position. Coaches are asking him to be aggressive, but he has to learn how to do that without fouling. That's the next step in his progression. And some of it is anticipation, so you're not in position to foul.
Mitch McGary's checked in for Charlotte. Dion Waiters comes in for Burks. And then for Cleveland, Mahinmi's checked in for Festus Ezeli. Parsons comes in for Young. And it's Green in for J.R. Smith. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. And now let's check in on the 2 guards from around the league and see which one of them is playing the stingiest defense over the span of the last 10 games. You look at Green, always dangerous on the court. He leads the league.
You know, you watch him on a game-in, game-out basis, and he just puts on a clinic defensively, both in terms of effort and technique at that off-guard spot.
Well, it's a combination of the all-out effort and the flawless technique you just talked about. I mean, that's allowed him to climb that list. I mean, he's rightfully regarded as one of the league's toughest defenders.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. Dellavedova's checked in.
And one problem with the Cavs last season was they put immediate pressure on themselves. A part of that was the trade for Kevin Love.
On the wing, Green. Back to Parsons. Cleveland moving the ball around. Covington. Allen with the rebound.
Right thing there to stay that tight on him and really try to keep him out of his comfort zone.
Lin with it. Now guarded by Parsons. And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That's his first foul.
Yeah, way to get there first and be willing to absorb the contact.
No question about it. No flop there. That was a direct shot to the chest.
Here's Dellavedova, defended by Lin, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. As you said, the Cavs put a lot of pressure on themselves because of the trade. You could see it affect the way they came out of the gate, Clark.
And, you know, it was just night and day, Kevin, when the Cavs began to relax and click. I mean, a total transformation and turnaround. They would go 19-20 in the first 39 games and then 34-9 over the rest of the season once those guys gelled and got locked in.
Harrison Barnes, he's checked in for Robert Covington. And both free throws good for Dellavedova.
And Charlotte had a lot of momentum going into last season off that playoff appearance. But they just stumbled out of the gates last season and spent the whole year playing catch-up.
And he gets it to go.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
For the 3, that is good. Dellavedova's got 9 points. And for the Hornets, they seemed to get back on track last January, but they faded Clark quickly after that. Were too far behind to make up room and get in the playoffs.
And, you know, they had a rash of injuries, Kevin, and that really did them in. All in all, it was a season that just didn't have any traction for them because of the injury.
Lure's checked in for Lavoy Allen. 1:07 left here in the third quarter. And he uses both hands to jam it in.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further.
Here is Lin. He has 6. Waiters passes to McGarry. Ball's knocked loose. Just 5 to shoot. No good. And Cleveland will come the other way. They've led by as many as 14 points. Now the pass to Parsons. Mahinmi kicks to Barnes. The dish to Dellavedova. Nice form on the 20-footer. Dellavedova's got 7 now in this quarter.
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
And here is Durant. 7 points in the game. And he gets it to go. Durant's got 9.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
He gets it up. Can't get it to go. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Cavaliers lead by 10. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. But moments away now as we welcome you back. Hornets trail by 10. On the court for Cleveland, they've got Harrison Barnes. Smith is out there with Isaiah Thomas. Then there's Festus Ezeli, and it's Young in at the 4 slot. On defense, Cleveland. Vucevic down low. He's against Ezeli, and it's Vucevic missing.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
A nice bounce back year for Harrison Barnes, Clark, in year 3. Moved into the starting lineup last year and really responded.
Yeah, he did. I think he benefited from the new system. He was miscast as an isolation scorer, but when he can spot up for threes. And catch the ball on the move, that's his game.
I'll tell you what, Harrison Barnes, very athletic. He certainly passes the eye test. And with his size, he can punish smaller wings and create mismatches. And then also he can play some small ball power forward at times as well with the way they like to space the floor.
Motiejunas a screen on Thomas. Lynn kicks to Motiejunas.
And he was camped in just the right spot to swipe that pass away down low.
And it's Smith missing. Hornets trail by 11.
And you talk about Harrison Barnes overall. He had a nice uptick in his rebounding last year. And that was a goal of his. He wanted to get his activity level up. And oftentimes the difference between being good and great is just making those small incremental improvements in different facets of your game.
And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats here for the Cavaliers?
You know, block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to get off any shots.
But also, they put the offense on its heel. Look at the number of steals they've been able to get. And that's something they also can take great pride in.
Cleveland leading by 13. Smith for 3. Offensive rebound. Ezeli dishes to Thomas. Burks with the steal. Fast break now for Charlotte. Jumps up. Thaddeus Young grabs the miss.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
And the dunk by Barnes.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
Charlotte calls timeout.
And how about Harrison Barnes, the Black Falcon? I mean, he was a high school phenom in Ames, Iowa, and a lottery pick back in 2012 after 2 seasons at Carolina. Remember also in high school, he was a teammate of Dougie McBuckets.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Hey, guys, I got a chance to hear what Steve Clifford was saying to his team. He let his players know that they've got to do a better job on defense. He said they're scoring any way they want. We've got to show some pride here. Let's make a stand defensively, get us stops, and get on a run of our own. Do they have it in them, Kevin?
Thanks, Doris. Here's Smith. Harrison Barnes, of course, went to North Carolina, grew up as a huge fan of former Tar Heel Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you know, interesting, his mother started taping Jordan's games on the VCR years before he was born. His given name, Harrison Bryson Jordan Barnes. How about that for a factoid?
I didn't know that.
Nor did I.
Smith against Durant. Smith right side. 6 on the shot clock. Some nice passing by Cleveland here. Thomas gets the bucket.
Isaiah Thomas.
And we're about 3 minutes into the 4th quarter. Hornets trail by 18. Lynn the pass to Motiejunas. Motiejunas, that's a screen for Durant. Durant drawing the double team. Motiejunas kicks to Vucevic. The rebound by Ezeli. Ezeli's got 6 rebounds here tonight.
With the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in control of this game.
And no doubt about it, rebounding is an effort stat, folks. They've been more determined than their opponent thus far.
Here's Smith. Off the iron that time.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Cleveland with the ball. They're on a 10-2 run here, and the basket good.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
I'll tell you what, the way he's been going this quarter, guys, they're going to need somebody else to pick up the slack.
From deep. And it's Smith again missing.
And, you know, he's a threat from deep, no doubt about it, but it just has not been there for him tonight. You might want to change your game plan a little bit offensively.
You know, one thing we saw a lot of last season during the playoffs was the hack-a-shack plan, pretty much purposely fouling a poor free throw shooter. A lot of differing opinions on it, as it wasn't fun to watch for the viewers, but many feel it's a legitimate part of the game if it works.
Sonnylyles' shot is good. 1:49 left in the fourth quarter. Smith outside. Young outside. Barnes dishes to Smith. Kicks to Young. 5 on the clock. Azili the pass to Barnes. Smith for 3. Sinks it. What range from outside. Wow. Smith's got 21.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Cavaliers.
Mark, look at their number of assists.
Well, they minimized the one-on-one situations, Kevin. They got the ball moving, and it found the open guy.
Great ball movement, you're right. And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them.
And they'll take the win tonight, setting the tone in the first matchup of this 4-game season series.
And it will be a fight, Greg. When you see an opponent that many times, it's inevitable that those games take on a little extra added meaning for the players.
A fantastic show. And what an amazing all-around game it was for Smith. There wasn't much they could do to slow him down, as he was converting every good chance he got.
And taking care of the ball has been a problem for him.
Yeah, defensively, some really good pressure being applied, though, so you've got to give credit there. It seems like they've been rattled a little bit.
Greg, you think they've been rattled?
They have, Kevin, but that's something that they've got to fix. While the defense has been good, a lot of these turnovers have been unforced.
Puts up a 3. Again, the miss by Smith. Durant kicks to Lynn. So we see the Cavaliers taking the win here. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we have the opportunity to present our Jordan Player of the Game, J.R. Smith. The fourth quarter was all him. It was like he couldn't miss, and it was just one basket after another.
They asked an awful lot from him tonight offensively, and he delivered. When they needed a big bucket, he was the guy they turned to, and he delivered, like I said. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. He did not shy away from the moment.
I love the contribution he gave with his long-range shooting tonight. He was on fire. That turned out to be the big key for them. If someone drove the lane and the defense collapsed, he would always kick it to him for another 3. Splaka Katayow!
And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Hope you enjoy.